Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a very exciting topic, so I'm going to dive right in. Okay, I'm going to be touching on CardUp, which is a platform or a service that allows you to earn credit card points on transactions that you typically would not be able to earn credit card points or cashback. Right? So in today's video, I'll be covering the background of CardUp, what it's used for, is it safe to use, how CardUp works, an in-depth breakdown, some of the promo codes that come along with it, is it worth it, and last of all, I'll end off with would I recommend using CardUp. And before I start, I just want to give a shout out to Zachary Goh. He's one of the really solid, superb financial consultants that I work with, and he's the one that shared with me this entire idea, this concept. He's the one that taught me everything because I was new to this and he had already been using it for quite a while. So I'm the one who, I was the one who was asking him, oh my god, hey, how do you do this? How does this work? How does that work? Is it safe? Blah blah. He's the one that ran me through everything. So shout out to you, Zachary. Anyway, let's begin. Okay, so just to give a background of CardUp and what it is, first of all, to understand what, how, and why CardUp exists, you must first understand how credit cards work, right? When you use a credit card to make a payment or transaction, you typically will earn miles, which can be used to redeem flight tickets, or you can even use them to upgrade your economy flight tickets to business or first class, right? On the other hand, you can actually use credit cards to get back cashback. So for example, every transaction that you make, you earn around about 2 to 3% cashback. So, but there are a few kinds of transactions that don't allow you to earn points or cashback. Okay, these are some: renovation, rent, rental deposit, education, insurance, condo and maintenance fees, taxes, car loan, your mortgage loan, paying for your helper salary, stamp duty, season parking, and electricity bills. Credit card issuers generally don't allow you to earn credit card points or cashback on making transactions for these few transactions, right? And these are one of the more common ones like rent, insurance, taxes, car loan, mortgage loan, electricity bills. These are things that we pay on a month-to-month basis, so I think it's more common in Singapore. Okay, so how it works is very simple. Okay, one, you need to create an account and then you set up your payment, be it a recurring or a single payment. For example, your insurance premium, maybe it's 6,000 a year or 500 a month. It doesn't matter because CardUp allows both monthly, annual transactions, so you don't have to worry. If you pay for your insurance via credit card by the company's portal or via AXS, you don't get a single mile or a single cent in cashback. But if you pay via CardUp, what they'll do is charge your credit card $6,000 or $500 every month for whichever frequency you're paying by, okay, and a very small fee on top of that. And they will make a bank transfer of that 6,000 or 500 a month to the recipient, which in this case, if you're buying insurance via Prudential, they will make the bank transfer to Prudential. Okay, and then you'll get your however many miles per dollar, or you will get the cashback that your credit card offers. Yeah, and do take note that transactions via CardUp are generally classified as online transactions. Okay, so then you can just sit back and earn your miles or your cashback. Okay, next, is it safe? Right, well, CardUp was founded in 2015, so it's been around for 8 years already. It's also licensed by MAS, so it's relatively safe, and they never ever hold funds processed via CardUp for more than 3 hours. Okay, so these are also some of the banks and issuers that CardUp supports. Just leave it here for your referencing. You can find this on their website as well. Okay, so now, let me touch on how CardUp works, give you a bit more of an in-depth breakdown. Okay, at this point, you might be thinking, how can this be? It sounds too good to be true. How much is this small fee that I have to pay? Don't worry, I will dive right into that now. Okay, so the standard fee that CardUp charges is 2.6% per transaction. And I know it might sound a bit high, but hear me out. Okay, there are a whole bunch of promo codes that you can choose to lower the 2.6% fee. But do take note, while some are available to use for recurring payments, some are also only for new users. So like for me, I'm currently in the process of buying a universal life insurance policy, known as a UL. Okay, the premium is around anywhere between 11 to 15,000 per year. So for me, because I only just discovered this last month, I'm going to use the one-time, right here, right, one-time fee. Okay, it's a one-time processing fee of 1.5% for this insurance policy. So I pay lesser in fees. Honestly, 1.5%, 1.8%, not that much of a difference, but it's that 0.3% of a huge amount is still some money, right? So I'm going to use the 1.5% for my first transaction, which is going to be for this universal life policy. And then the following ones, I'll use this 1.8% for recurring. It's for OCBC, Voyage, and Premier, Visa, Infinite cards only. So there are a whole list of promo codes on their website. I will leave a link in the description. You guys can go and check that out. Okay, so now you might be thinking, 1.8% fee. So if you're saying that if I pay 10,000 in insurance every year, I have to pay an additional $180 on top of that, you're absolutely right. So you might be thinking, who in the right mind would then go and pay this additional $180 in fee? 1.8% is a lot. It all adds up, right? Hear me out. Okay, so if the average processing fee is 2.6%, in which in this case you can get 1.8% recurring for the remainder of 2023, okay, and actually in 2024, typically what they will do is they will roll out another set of promo codes that will last for the entirety of 2024. Typically that's how it works. Okay, I might be wrong, okay, but I'm assuming in 2024 they will roll out promotional codes that are potentially maybe 1.8% as well for the entirety of 2024. Okay, but for 2023, the remainder of 2023, you can be charged 1.8% if you use their promo code. Okay, so back to what I was saying, if the average processing fee is 2.6%, okay, then you would want to use a credit card that gives you above 3% cashback. Okay, this is only for cashback, I'm not talking about miles yet, right? So if the processing fee is 2.6%, your cashback is 3%, you profit off that 0.4% arbitrage, correct? And if you're using the promo code of 1.8%, then your arbitrage is 1.2% for every single transaction. It just makes it all the more worth it. Now for my favorite, earning credit card miles. Okay, if y'all have watched my previous video on introduction to credit cards in Singapore, I'll leave a link somewhere here. I mentioned that I'm a huge fan of miles. Okay, not so much cashback. So when I found out that you could earn miles at an extremely small fee, I was damn excited. Okay, anyway, I've done up a spreadsheet on comparing if it's worth to pay this, 1.8 to 2.6% fees per transaction. Let me show it to you guys. So just to take you through these 4 tables, okay, the first table here, okay, regular MPD, which is miles per dollar, okay, payment by credit card. Okay, what this is essentially, I've collated a list of what was this, 7 of the more popular miles credit cards from OC Voyage Premier Banking all the way to your City Premier Miles. I've categorized them according to the highest miles per dollar to the least. And DPM is actually dollar per mile. So I'm just converting, it's just simple math. I'm just converting for every dollar that you spend on the OCBC Voyage Premier Banking, you get 1.6 miles per dollar. That would equate to around 63 cents per mile. Okay, so on and so forth. You guys can see, you can read these values yourself. Okay, and what renewal miles are, okay, this is upon payment of your annual fee. So for those of you who have already used credit cards, you know that you have to pay annual fees every year. Either you waive them off or you pay for it. If you pay for example, I'm just using this as an example. If you pay $492.50 for annual fee, you essentially get 15,000 Voyage miles. Or you could opt for paying $3,240, okay, and you can get 150,000 miles. Okay, so these are a one-time option each year. Upon paying your annual fee, you get these miles. Okay, and of course, buying these miles are at a way lower cost than your regular miles per dollar, which I've shown here, right? So all the information here are accurate as of August 2023, okay, last month. I did the research last month, but I didn't have time to film this until now, which is ending of September, okay? So pardon me for that 1 month lag time, but it should not be too different, okay? So the miles per dollar, I've taken the liberty to convert them just for your easy referencing here, okay? If you pay your annual fee, it should be worth around 38 miles per dollar. Okay, of course, the higher the miles per dollar, the better. So for annual fee, UOB Privy Miles gives the highest at 77 miles per dollar. This is upon paying your annual fee. Okay, and I've converted them into dollar per mile. Anywhere between, I think, 1.29 cents per mile is the lowest, 2.7 cents per mile is the highest. Okay, now we look at this table, new mile per dollar. This is if you were to pay via CardUp. Okay, if you were to pay via CardUp, your miles per dollar, these are of course not 100% accurate. Okay, I might be a bit off. Okay, but roughly it should be around these figures, plus minus. Okay, so for OCBC Voyage Premier Banking, you get around 90 miles per dollar. This is based off 1.6 MPD lah. Okay, so all the way down to City Premier Miles that gives you around 67 miles per dollar, which honestly is still very worth it. The dollar per mile is in the 1 cent per mile range. The lowest is 1.1 cents all the way up to 1.47 cents dollar per mile, which is way lesser than the renewal miles. And people already find the renewal miles a steal. Okay, not all, but some people would say it's a steal to buy miles at 2 cents per mile, 1.8 cents per mile. Here, if you are paying via CardUp, of course this is via 1.8% fee. If I change this to 2.6%, then these figures will change. Okay, but for example, just take 1.8% because that's the fees that you're paying now. okay, you're only paying between 1 to 1.4 cents per mile. And to me, I think it's worth it. Whether it's worth it to you, it's subjective. Some people say, no, you know, like my dad's very, he doesn't want to pay an additional small fee. To him, it's more of a by the way. And he doesn't, but that's because he already has accumulated so many miles over the years. He doesn't feel the need to pay that 1.8% fee per transaction. For me, I think it's worth it because I have not accumulated as much miles as my dad has. Okay, so it's subjective. Whether or not it's worth it to you, take it with a pinch of salt. I personally think it's worth it. You have to do the math to see if you're willing to shell out that 1 to 2% in fees every year. Okay, so for most credit card users, they would look to waive off the annual fees. But if you're an avid miles collector like myself, then you'd likely want to pay your annual fee to get the renewal bonus miles, because those miles would be crazy cheap. Okay, but just to note, when buying renewal miles, you should ideally be looking to purchase them for less than 2.2 cents per mile. The most popular renewal mile promotions range between costing 1.8 cents per mile, this is for City Premier miles, to 2.2 cents per mile, which is for City Prestige. So anything more than 2.2 cents per mile, you can buy them. It's just a little bit more expensive than the average, which is why I always let OCBC waive off my annual fee instead of paying for it, because the renewal bonus miles on my card is 2.7 cents per mile. I'm not willing to pay for that. Okay, so these are some miles calculation formulas. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay, but these are the formulas that I've been using to calculate the tables that I've shown you just now, in case I have not mentioned the credit card that you would want to formulate and weigh the pros and cons to see if it's worth it or not. So just for your referencing. Okay, at this point you guys might be thinking, hey, is this real or not? You know, what if I pay via CardUp, I pay that fee, but I don't get my credit card points? What if I pay for my insurance policy, but my insurance company did not receive the funds? So I can't say much apart from the fact that I myself have used them before. So prior to creating this video, I have actually paid for my insurance policies via CardUp last month. I discovered this last month, right? So I paid for it 2 months, and they have received, my insurance company has received my premiums that I've paid, and I in fact have received the points that I should receive paying this additional fee. Okay, I'm going to show some pictures on screen. So yes, for example, I've paid $1,370.50 for one of my insurance policies, as you can see here. And I have in fact gotten the 2,192 miles based off of that transaction amount. You can do a very simple calculation. If you were to take 1370.5 times 1.6 miles per dollar, that's 2192.8. which I did get 2,192 miles. So this is for an insurance policy, and I have paid my insurance policy many months, many years via credit card, and I've never gotten these miles before. It's my first time paying via CardUp, and I have in fact received those miles. So I cannot guarantee that this is 100% risk-free. I cannot tell you that, oh, it definitely will work. I'm not a spokesperson of CardUp. I'm not sponsored. You guys might want to sponsor me actually. But anyway, all jokes aside, I'm not here to tell you that, oh, do it, it's 100% safe. I'm just telling you my experience, okay, which does not constitute financial advice or any advice to tell you, hey, go and do it. Just sharing with you my opinion. You decide whether you want to use this or not. But I'm telling you, based on my experience, it works. Okay, so last of all, is it worth it? This is my personal opinion. I think that if you're more of a cashback person, then it only makes sense if you are using a credit card that gives you minimally 3% cashback or maybe more, so that you can earn off that 0.4% arbitrage or 1.2%, however much it is. Okay, if you're more of a miles person like me, you're young, trying to accumulate miles, especially because I'm a guy, right? And I think it's societal norm for the guy to be expected to pay for flight tickets for my partner. I can't possibly redeem business first class for myself, and then my girlfriend, I'm like, bye, you're going to take economy yourself. So I definitely would want to accumulate as much miles as possible so I can use it for my partner, for my family in the future, right? So I think if you're not strapped for cash, you don't mind shelling out that 1 to 2% more per transaction just to convert what would have been 0 miles. Take note, if you spend 10,000 a year on insurance and you don't go via CardUp, you would have gotten 0 miles. But if you pay that 1 to 2%, for example, $180, 1.8%, right? If you pay that $180, you're converting the entire $10,000 that would have been 0 miles into 16,000 miles based on 1.6 miles per dollar, depending on how much your credit card gives you, right? It would have been 0, but you just pay that additional $180 to get 16,000 miles, which works out to be around, 1 cent per mile? 1 to 1.4 cents per mile based on my table that I shown previously. So I think, to me, if you think that it's worth it, I'd say go for it. Not financial advice or not advice to tell you go and do it, but this is my personal opinion. I think it's worth it for me. But whether it's worth it or not to you, it's subjective. You make the decision yourself and you decide. Anyway, that pretty much sums up today's video. And of course, there is a list of best cards to use with CardUp. There's an article written by Mao Lion. I'll leave a link in the description below, so feel free to check that out. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then comment again and like again, and then subscribe again, and then subscribe again, and then share it with your friends, and then tell them to like and comment and subscribe, okay? Because this really helps motivate me to release more videos, knowing that you guys like the content that I put out there. So thank you all for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.